to another episode of Healthy Living. My name's Cole, I'm your host, and today we're going to be looking at lentils, that almighty bean. High in protein, low in carbs, very, very good for you. I'm quite excited about this because we're going to add Jamaican curry to it. Now, Jamaican curry is one of those nice little curries that's a little bit different than the normal Indian flavor. It adds to and enhances the flavor without being overly spicy. Let's have a look at how it's done. 3 cloves of garlic, 1 whole mixed up onion sitting here in the fry pan and cooking through. And now we're going to add in our lentils. Notice I let the onion brown a little bit. That's okay because that adds the extra flavor to the curried lentils that we're after. Now this is going to be a very mild curried lentil, right? And you'll notice I've kept the lentils here pretty dry. They've been soaking for a while. Typically with lentils you don't need to let them soak, but it is useful from a cooking performance point of view to give them a little bit of a soak before you cook them. I'm adding just a touch of water, not too much, right? Because what I want to achieve here is it's not a soup, but a tasty kind of side lentil dish that I can use. Not only, I could put in a sandwich, for example, or I could likewise, say, for example, serve up as a side dish. Anyway, let's see where it goes from here. Added in 2 whole tomatoes. I've added in about 2 tablespoons of Jamaican curry, 1 tablespoon of my crab and shrimp seasoning, which is really just paprika and salt and pepper and things like that, and 1 packet of Goya's red Sazon, right, the cilantro and annatto. And I'm going to let this simmer now for a little while. Now don't worry about the size of the stuff that you have in there, because don't forget we're going to mix this up a little bit with a mixer, which is going to break down the lentils and make them a little bit more pliable. But just let this simmer for a while and let's see where we go from there. For about 15-20 minutes. Our lentils are soft, which is where we want it to be. And notice the amount of moisture sitting on the top. It's really just a small film, and that's where we want it to be, because we're going to add some spinach now. And we don't want it to be too runny, but we don't want it to be too thick either, because once we mix the beans up, grind them, you will notice that the moisture gets absorbed pretty fast, but we want a little bit of moisture there now before we add our spinach. Now, I'm adding in approximately 1 or 2 handfuls of spinach, right? So, from a quantity point of view, it's not really, I'm not really being exact in my measurements, but a handful of spinach is, a couple handfuls of spinach is really what I want to see in there. And I'm mixing that in now, letting that cook for about 3 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 3 minutes, and the lentils have cooked through. The spinach is in there. And now using my bar mix, right, or my oyster, I'm going to blend this up a little bit. And you'll see here, I can do this because it's got a metal rod. I can do this while it's hot. And you see what I mean about the moisture. The moisture is being soaked up now, right, and moved in with the lentils. Now this is a great additive to rice, to bread. It's a tasty condiment to everything you might have in your meal. And it's good for you. We're talking about 2 tomatoes, 3 cloves of garlic, 1 onion, and a couple handfuls of spinach, and a bag of lentils. Some curry, some paprika, salt, pepper, right? A nice mix. Let's have a look at how it turns out. Curried lentils served with some brown rice, cucumber, and some fresh tomato. Can't go wrong. Absolutely delicious. Enjoy healthy living.